Hopefully this is all working well. Let me know in the chat as you filter in. Welcome to the second live Eurovision quiz that I'm doing here on my channel after last week's quiz proved quite successful. Hello, welcome. Hopefully more will filter in over the next minute or two. I'm just going to give it a few minutes to wait for other people to tune in, and we'll see what happens. So yes, welcome. This is my second Eurovision quiz. Won this time last week, and it went quite well. Admittedly, I think in retrospect that it was quite tough for a lot of people. There were questions relating to much older editions of the contest, and I think people suffered in that respect. This week, hopefully, it's a little bit easier for you, and feel free to chat amongst yourselves in the chat. Just refrain from putting your answers. We don't want to ruin it for anybody else. If you're doing this by yourself, whether you're doing it with your dad, whether you're doing it with anybody in your household at all, or maybe online with a friend, whatever it is, it's all good. I have the questions in front of me, of course. I typed them up earlier. And I should say that this week, all the questions relate to the past decade of the Eurovision Song Contest, 2010 to 2020. There are questions on what would have been this year's contest as well. Hello, welcome. I'm thrilled that there are at least a few people watching this. How this is going to work is that there are 5 questions per contest. So there are 5 questions on 2010, 5 questions on 2011, and so on. You will realize quite quickly that the format is fairly similar, and it's mainly statistic based. You'll be asked to name a country or an artist, things like that. So I'm going to get straight into this. Hello. It's just a bit of fun, nothing serious. And I want to say as well that if this video does as well or better, that would be nice, better than last week's video, then I may turn this into a weekly thing here on my channel. I haven't really seen many other people do this, which I find quite surprising, but there we are. Hopefully the quality's all right. Hopefully you can all hear me okay, no matter where you are across the continent, maybe even further afield. You are very welcome indeed. So if you're ready, I'm going to get into this. Hopefully it won't be as long a quiz as last week. There was quite a bit of rambling. Last week's video was well over an hour. I'm trying to keep this video under an hour. I'm going to copy and paste the questions in the chat just in case you miss any as well. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Okay, here we go. Beginning with 2010. So cast your minds back to that competition. Not a bad contest at all, was it? Here we go. One more thing. If anybody else joins this live stream and is wondering exactly what the hell is going on, please do inform them in the chat. Number 1, here we go. What was the title of the host nation's entry in 2010? So question 1, what was the title of the host nation's entry in 2010? Indeed, that is the first question for this little quiz. Moving on to question number 2. Which nation finished last overall in 2010? Now, when I say last overall, I'm talking about the semi-finals as well. So which country was number 39 of 39, or whatever it was in 2010? Which nation finished last overall in that 2010 contest? There's that question in the chat for you. Question number 3. Which former Eurovision winner returned to sing in 2010? So question number 3, which former winner of the contest returned to sing in 2010? And I have to say, the particular song in question I've always found to be a bit underrated. I don't know about you. Okay, hope you're all doing all right so far and that I'm going at a reasonable pace. Number 4, name the artist in 2010 who performed the song Apricot Stone. Question number 4, name the artist who performed the song Apricot Stone. And you will quickly discover that questions like that will crop up throughout this quiz. And the last question for the 2010 contest, which just feels like a lot longer than 10 years ago, that's for sure. Name the song performed by John Lillygreen and the Islanders. I'll repeat that. Number 5 in this quiz. Name the song performed by John Lillygreen and the Islanders. So, that's the first batch of questions done, and I will go through the answers at the end. Hopefully not too tricky for you there, but now you have an idea as to how this quiz is going to pan out. And of course, we will be moving through the years as this quiz progresses. So, moving on to question number 6, and these next 5 questions are all about the 2011 contest, of course. Number 6, what was the title of the host nation's entry in 2011? That is question number 6 to all of you watching. What was the title of the host nation's entry in 2011? And question number 7, which nation finished last overall in 2011? That's including the semi-finals. Which nation finished last overall in 2011? Now, one thing I will say about this week's edition of the quiz is that I think if you are a Eurovision fan, somebody who really pays attention to the contest every year and has done for a number of years, I think you should be getting at least, there's 55 questions, I should say. I think you should be getting at least 40 correct, or close to 40. I think that's a very reasonable number. Last week, I think some people really did struggle, so hopefully this is a little bit easier and more manageable. That was number 7. Number 8, in what language was the French entry that year? So in 2011, what language was the French entry performed in? Yes, indeed. Also a bit underrated. One of the favourites to win. Never really came close. Number 9. Name the artist who performed the song Rockefeller Street. Number 9. Name the artist who performed the song Rockefeller Street. I should say that you do not have to worry about things like spelling or anything like that at all. I can't see your answers, so it doesn't really matter. I am trusting that you aren't cheating, by the way, of course. And number 10, name the song performed by a friend in London. Name the song performed by a friend in London. That's question 10, and that's the end of the 2011 questions. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you are all doing okay and that this isn't too much of a challenge. Feel free to let me know in the chat if you are finding this a little bit too tricky or whether it's too easy for you. Maybe it is. It says here there's 10 people watching, which is a little bit disappointing. Quite a bit lower than last week, but not to worry. Hopefully more people will tune in as I go through these questions. And yes, moving on to 2012 then, ladies and gentlemen. Number 11, you know what's coming by now, surely. What was the title of the host nations entry in 2012? That is question 11. Oh. Question number 12, which nation finished... stumbling over my words there. Number 12, which nation finished last overall in the 2012 contest? I can tell you that it is a country that hasn't competed for a good few years. Maybe that's a clue. Maybe that will help you. I don't know if you're struggling a little bit. Which nation finished last overall in 2012? Taking into consideration the semi-finals too. Question number 13. Which country achieved its best result to date in 2012, finishing in the top 5 in the grand final? Which nation achieved its best result to date in 2012, finishing in the top 5 of the grand final? A song that I personally feel is quite overrated. Yes, indeed. Song number 14. Name the artist who performed the song Zalela. I'm not doing this in tune, I don't think. Name the artist who performed the song Zalela. Not a fan either. Of the country that finished in the top 5. Yeah, not a big fan of that song. Yes, number 14. Who performed Zalela with the bagpipes on stage? You might well recall. And number 15. Name the song performed by Kurt Kalleja. Calleja. Name the song performed by Kurt Kalleja. Now that song, on the other hand, I think is a little bit underrated myself. So that's it for 2012. And obviously 2013 is next. Hopefully you're all doing all right. And this is not too tricky for you. Please do let me know if it is, because obviously I do take your comments on board and everything. Hello. One of your favorites that year. Oh, nice. One of my favorites too. Well, actually, I think it's my 6th favorite, but a good song. Brill song from Kurt. Not a bad song at all. I thought he performed really well. Anyway, moving on to 2013, ladies and gentlemen. This is question number 16 overall. What was the title of the host nation's entry in 2013? Indeed. I was going to change the format of those types of questions. I was going to have you name not only the title of the song, but who performed it as well. But I thought the song title is enough. Number 17. Which nation finished last overall in 2013? That's including the semi-finals. Which nation finished last overall in 2013? And I have to say, with that particular song, I just thought the live performance was really quite messy and the vocals weren't great. Brilliant song by the hosts, underrated. It was quite underrated, wasn't it? Particularly in the public half of the votes, which is often the way, let's be honest. Number 18, ladies and gentlemen. Which position in the running order did Denmark perform? Little bit tricky. Wasn't sure about putting that question in, but maybe you have a vague idea. Maybe you know spot on which position it was. Number 18, which position in the running order did Denmark perform? And I'll be honest as well, while we're having a bit of a ramble here, I think that Danish song, which obviously won, it seems to have been a bit brushed aside in the years since, but I really think it's one of the finest winners that we've had over the past decade, if I'm honest with you. I liked it from the first time I heard it, and I really have kept up with Emily de Forest's music. She's been doing little videos every now and then while we're in lockdown. Really good stuff. Moving on to song 19. Name the artist who performed the song Kedveshem. Name the artist who performed the song Kedveshem. Very low key, very different. Interesting, I see what you've done there. Have you clocked on to what I've done with that previous question? I'm glad somebody has. Who performed Kedveshem? And number 20, name the song performed by Aliona Lanskaya. Name the song performed by Aliona Lanskaya. And those are the questions regarding the 2013 edition, which means we now move on to 2014. And that was the year that the contest was held in a former shipyard, of course, which looks from the outside really run down, really unappealing. But I think since Eurovision, they've changed it up, and it seems to be some sort of, well, I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it, but they've certainly changed the inside, the interior of that building. And you can do all these sorts of activities there now, I think. From the outside, it still looks really ugly, to be honest. Anyway, 21. What was the title of the host nation's entry in 2014? Very Bruno Mars-like, it has to be said. And not a bad song, in all honesty, not a bad song. Number 22. Which nation finished last overall in 2014? That's including the semi-finals. And they were very short semi-finals in 2014, weren't they? They seemed to be over very quickly because less nations took part in 2014. But anyway, which nation finished last overall that year? A long forgotten song. Yes, indeed. Moving on. Number 23. Which two nations made appearances in a Eurovision Grand Final for the first time in 2014? And you do need both to get the point, I'm afraid. Which two nations made appearances in a Eurovision final for the first time in 2014? Yes. Number 24, ladies and gentlemen. Name the artist who performed the song Cheesecake. Name the artist who performed the song Cheesecake. Indeed. It was on second in the running order in the grand final, and he kicked the camera at the end. Or pretended to, at the very least. No worries, Sam. You can certainly rewatch later. I'll be going through the answers at the end, though, so you might want to go away at that point, I don't know, and then come back. Great song. What, Cheesecake? That's not too bad, I guess. And number 25, name the song that was performed by Soft Engine. Name the song performed by Soft Engine. All of the questions are in the chat, so if you have missed any, you can just scroll up and they'll be there. Certainly the chat is not as active as last week, but that's no worries at all. It was a pretty good performance, wasn't it? I really thought it was quite good. So we are going to move on to 2015, halfway through the decade. Number 26. What was the title of the host nation's entry in 2015? Glad you're still here watching. Fantastic. That was number 26. Sanna. Are you talking about Sanna Nielsen there, or am I missing something? Number 27. Which nation finished last overall in 2015? That's including the semi-finals, of course. Didn't deserve 0 points. Well, no, I agree. I don't think any song really deserves 0 points. But again, it's well worth saying that it was the public, I think the public, who let the side down with that song. Which nation finished last overall in 2015? The country in question, absolutely, in my opinion, sent the wrong song. There was a much better song in their national final. Number 28, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, in 2015, Australia debuted. But which two nations gave them 12 points in the grand final? And I will say with this one, you only need to get one of the two to get the point, I'd say, because I think it's quite tough. Number 28, Australia debuted, but which two nations gave Australia 12 points in the final? You know one? Well, one's enough, I think, with this. Oh, hello. No, I've actually just made a typo there. Lovely. Moving on to number 29. Name the artist, or rather in this case, artists, plural, who performed the song A Monster Like Me, which is my second favourite of the 2015 contest, if you were wondering. Name the artists who performed the song A Monster Like Me. No need to worry about the spelling. That's not an issue here. And finally, for 2015, number 30 of 55, name the song performed by Elnur Husseinov. Name the song performed by Elnur Husseinov. Great singer, and it was his second Eurovision entry. The first time was part of a duo for his country in 2008. You love that song, Elnur's song. I liked it, but then sort of went off it, I'll be honest. I need to listen to it again. I really like the studio version, though, that's for sure. So, we're getting more and more recent with these questions. We're into 2016 now. And yes, you know what's coming. Number 31, what was the title of the host nation's entry in 2016? A song that I've always found to be a bit overrated, but I don't think it's that bad. I had a feeling that it was going to do very, very well. I had a feeling it was going to do very, very well, though, in that year's grand final. Number 32, which nation finished last overall in 2016? And this really was quite surprising, but I think the live performance totally damaged its chances. Which nation finished last overall in 2016? Really surprising. If you had told me that this song, or rather this country, was going to finish last, bottom of the pile in 2016, before the contest, I think I would have just been really surprised. But that's what happened. Best modern year, I think. 2016 was a really fantastic year for the contest, I think. Really was. Just the production value was through the roof. And great venue. Great venue indeed. This next question, it's a little bit complicated maybe in terms of how I've worded it, so I'll read it out slowly. Number 33, which nation was top 6 with the juries and bottom 6 with the public? This is in the grand final. And which nation was bottom 6 with the jury and top 6 with the public in the grand final? So I'll repeat that. Let me just put that in the chat. Which nation was top 6 with the juries and bottom 6 with the public in the grand final? And which nation was bottom 6 with the jury and top 6 with the public in the final? And I have to say, I think Any Eurovision fan will get at least one of these countries spot on. The bottom 6 jury one, you agreed with them. I'll be honest, so did I. So did I. That really was one of the more striking and memorable moments of the 2016 edition, I think it's fair to say. I'm guessing you were there, Sam. I'm guessing you were there. What an amazing contest to watch live. Fair play. Number 34. Fantastic. Fantastic. Just for the final or the semi-finals as well. Number 34. Name the artist who performed the song No Degree of Separation, which is my second favourite of the 2016 contest, and a song that I think has just been forgotten by a lot of Eurovision fans, which is a great shame. I will say that this artist has just released a new album as well, and they have another song. You can see my hand behind the Mad Israelis after Hovey performed. I'll look out for that. I'll look out for that. Why not? Yes, name the artist who performed the song No Degree of Separation. Underrated, I think. And this singer's had a few other really good songs. One's called Bolivia. That's a pretty good song by this musician. Anyway, number 35. Name the song performed by Laura Tesoro. Dum 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 and so on. Really good song, that. Really good. Totally deserved a place in the final, if you ask me. Name the song performed by Laura Tesoro. That's it. Moving on. I am aware that this video is maybe dragging a little bit, but we have plenty more questions to go, and hopefully you are having a good time. Best use of vegetable prop. Yes, we don't often see vegetables on the Eurovision stage, but we did on that particular occasion. 2017 then. Yes, seems like a lot longer than 3 years ago, but there we are. Number 36, you know what's coming. What was the title of the host nation's entry in 2017? And I think it's fair to say that the host nation did not really want to win again with this particular song. Never been a big fan of it myself, and I thought the live performance was a little bit underwhelming. Yes, indeed. Number 37, ladies and gentlemen. Which nation finished last overall in 2017 with just 1 point? Just 1 point. Last overall in 2017. That's including the semi-finals. Underrated, not that bad. Are we talking about the host nation's entry? Well, it's not that bad, but I don't think it's that amazing either, I'll be honest. Okay, number 38. Again, I haven't worded this brilliantly, but give it a go. Which nation was top 6 with the juries and bottom 6 with the public? And which nation was bottom 6 with the jury and top 6 with the public? In Central African Republic. You'll have to forgive me here because I think I've worded this question incorrectly. Okay, yes. I'm talking about semi-final 2 here. Semi-final 2. So which nation, no worries, Kevin, no worries. I'm sure that you're getting many of the other ones correct. Which nation was top 6 with the juries and bottom 6 with the public in semi-final 2? And which nation was bottom 6 with the jury and top 6 with the public in... You know what? I'm just going to alter this question because I've messed up somewhere here. Yeah. Which nation was top 6 with the juries and bottom 6 with the public in semi-final 2? You'll have to forgive me with that one because I seem to have messed up somewhere. So I'm just going to have to check. I know I was getting at with that. Oh my word. Oh my word. Do you know what? Forget that question. Forget that one. I was reading the question from the previous round. What an absolute plonker. Let me copy and paste this one in. This is the real question. Look, it says number 33. 33 doesn't come after 37. What am I playing at? Number 30. Name the country and the song title that was last in semi-final 1 with the public, but 7th with the juries, and the country and song title in semi-final 2 that was 17th with the jury, but 6th with the public. That's the real next question in this quiz. I do apologize. Oh dear. I must have just accidentally scrolled up. My mind well in the past. Number 38. Number 38. That's the one we're on. We're rattling through them. You're looking for the country and the song title with that one. Number 39. Name the artist who performed an all-time Eurovision classic, Yodel It. Name the artist, or rather artists, who performed the song Yodel It. And I will not do my impression because I don't want to scar you for life, quite frankly. Name the artists who performed the song Yodel It. And number 40, name the song in 2017 that was performed by Anja. A-N-J-A. Name the song performed by Anja. So that's it. That's 2017 out of the way. We really are coming up to the present and moving on to 41. 2018 then. You know what this is going to be. What was the title of the host nation's entry in 2018? Which I think I've said before on my channel, I think is possibly the most underrated song we've had of the past 10 years. I'll be honest with you. I was genuinely disappointed and surprised that this song finished last. But there we are. Number 42, which nation finished last overall in 2018? And I think a lot of Eurovision fans really expected it. Bearing in mind the semi-finals, of course, which nation finished last overall in 2018? Riverdance? Bring it back. I'm all for it. It was Can in the Hall. What do you mean? Moving on to number 43. In what language were the two highest ranked non-English songs in the grand final? In what language were the two highest ranked non-English songs in the grand final? Because they were both in the same language. I think that's a relatively easy one if you cast your minds back just a few years. Two decent entries, it's worth saying, in my opinion. Number 44. Name the artist who performed the song Mal. M-A-L-L. Oh, Fab in the Hall. Oh, the song that the host nation's entry, you mean, or the song that finished last overall? Well, certainly, I imagine the atmosphere was fantastic for the host nation's entry. Yes, number 44 there. Who performed Mal, which I think is a cracking piece of music and deserved to finish as high as it did. Arguably one of the best singers we've had in recent times. And number 45, name the song that was performed by Ryan O'Shaughnessy. Number 4, I think the staging with this song helped it a great deal. Name the song performed by Ryan O'Shaughnessy. And that's it for 2018. So we move on to 2019. Less than a year ago, ladies and gentlemen. I think it must have been around this time last year that photos from Tel Aviv were being released and rehearsals were going to be getting underway very shortly. And of course, right now, we should be seeing stage construction in Rotterdam, but alas, not happening. Number 46. What was the title of the host nation's entry last year? which in retrospect was a little bit underrated, maybe a little bit underrated. Number 47. Which nation finished last overall last year? That's including the semi-finals, of course. Which nation finished last overall last year? Amazing singer for the host nations entry. He did sing very well. He did sing very well. Obviously shed a tear at the end. I don't blame him. Number 48, ladies and gentlemen. Name at least 2 of the 3 highest ranked female musicians in the grand final. Number 48, name at least 2 crocodile tear, possibly, certainly at the time, I think that I thought that maybe he was just trying to force the tears just a little bit. But I imagine it was very emotional anyway for him. Yes, name at least 2 of the 3 highest ranked female musicians in the final. I think last year was maybe a bit male heavy, male centric. But anyway, number 49, name the artist who performed the song Chameleon. And I'm really looking forward to any music that this person releases in the near future. I have heard 1 or 2 bits and pieces in the 10 months or so, 11 months or so that has passed. Number 49, name the artist who performed Chameleon. Yeah. And number 50, name the song Just Female Solos. Name the song performed by Katarine Duska. Katarine Duska. Which I thought was going to finish in the top 10, and then it never came close. Never came close. The live performance a little bit underwhelming, in my opinion. So that's it. Except there are 5 more questions regarding what would have been this year's contest, ladies and gentlemen. We can't ignore the fact that we did have a whole lot of songs lined up, raring to go, and sadly we will not get to see them on the Eurovision stage. I wouldn't be surprised if later in the year, once the C word has hopefully faded away a little bit or significantly, if a neutral country just put on a big party and it was all low key and all of the artists were there and performed the songs and it was just this long shindig. I wouldn't be. Anyway, number 51. What is the title of the host nation's entry this year? Even though this year's contest isn't happening. What is the title of the host nation's entry this year? Very underrated. Very underrated, if you ask me. I listened to it earlier. My God, I think it's a good piece of music. Number 52. Number 52. Name at least 3 of the bands who would have been in this year's first semi-final. I can tell you that you need 3 of 6. Name at least 3 of the bands who would have competed in this year's first semi-final. A great shame that we will not see any of them until maybe next year with different songs. Number 53. Just throwing this one out there. I didn't really know what questions to do. Which musician is younger? Alicja Simplinska or Stefania? Which musician is the younger of the 2? Alicja Simplinska or Stefania? There we go. Number 54, ladies and gentlemen. Name the artist who would have performed Yes. Name the artist who would have performed Yes. And I don't think they'll be back for 2021, which I think a little bit harsh. It goes down to months. Yes, I believe it does. But which one is younger? Name the artist who would have performed yes. And the last question then, before I go through the answers, and you have a chance to just make sure that you have answers for every question. Name the song that would have been performed by Ben Dolic. Name the song that would have been performed by Ben Dolic. And I feel pretty confident when I sit here and say that I think that song would have finished in the top 10. I think. Especially if it had been drawn to perform in the second half of the final. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Give yourselves a round of applause. Why not? That is this second Eurovision quiz complete. The questions, anyway. It's time to go through the answers. Hopefully you didn't find that two best symphonics for the year. Yeah, I mean, it was right up there, wasn't it? Very good song. Is a bit of a bop. Your number 2? Yeah, a lot of people really loving it. Really loving it. I think at this moment in time, it's my number 7, I think. We'll rewatch later. No worries, Sam. No worries. I know that you missed the start of the quiz. So I'm going to go through the answers now, ladies and gentlemen. And you can put the answers in the chat if you so wish. And hopefully, unlike last week, I will have got all of the answers correct myself. Last week, I did get one wrong, which was a great big mishap on my behalf. But anyway, let's roll back the years once again. Hopefully, you will do better than last week if you did last week's quiz as well. Number 1. Here we go then. Let's see how well you did. Number 1. What was the title of the host nation's entry in 2010? Well, Norway, of course, hosted, and the singer was Didrik Solli-Tangen, who did try to represent Norway again this year with his brother, but the song that he had on his own in 2010 on home soil was My Heart Is Yours. Because my heart is yours, I'll never leave you. Though we are far apart, so on, so forth. Yes, My Heart Is Yours, ladies and gentlemen. It was on early in the running order and didn't do that well. Number 2, which nation finished last overall in 2010? It was in semi-final 2. It was a song in French. It was Switzerland. That's the answer you should have had. Il pleut de l'or. It's Raining Gold by Michael von der Heide. Da, 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 da. The last Swiss entry in French until this year. Switzerland's the answer for that one. Number 3, which former winner of the contest returned to sing in 2010? It was for Ireland. It was the 1993 winner, Niamh Kavanagh, with It's For You. She was wearing a purple dress, and I thought she was underrated in the end. Niamh Kavanagh. Number 4. Number 4. Name the artist who performed the song Apricot Stone. This was the Armenian song that did very well. The performer was Eva Rivas. That's the answer you should have had. Eva Rivas. Apricot Stone. Very different song, but it did very well. And number 5, name the song performed by John Lillygreen and the Islanders. Now, John Lillygreen himself, I believe born in Wales, and I think only 1 or 2 members of the group were actually from Cyprus, if that. The song was Life Looks Better in Spring, but not this year. Life Looks Better in Spring. That was the Cypriot entry performed by John Lillygreen and the Islanders in 2010. It qualified ahead of Sweden. Don't know what to make about that. Eva Rivas, stunning looking. I won't disagree with you there. She might have been runner-up for Miss World. She certainly was in some competition, apart from Eurovision, of course. Shall we move on? Why not? 2011. What was the title of the host nation's entry in 2011? Well, Germany. and Lena was back to defend her title. It was Taken by a Stranger. Taken by a Stranger. Very different song again. Grown on me a lot over the years. Didn't think much of it at first. You had all of the backing singers in those tight silvery outfits. Lena she transformed between 2010 and 2011. She just became so much more, what's the word I'm looking for here? She just sort of, I don't want to use the term glowed up. Oh dear. But I suppose she did. She just sort of vamped it up. That's maybe a bit more like it. Vamped it up. Number 7, which nation finished last overall in 2011, taking into consideration the semi-finals? It was the Netherlands, with Never Alone by 3JS, or the 3 Yays. I say 3JS. More mature. Yes, I think that's right. More mature. I don't know how old she was. She must have been about 20, 21 maybe. Maybe younger than that. I've no idea. But certainly she was still singing in that exaggerated English accent. Number 8. In what language was the French entry that year? It wasn't in French. It was in Corsican. Amaury Vasily was the performer with Sonyu. That was one of the favourites to win, and it never came close. Sonyu. Da, ba, da, da. Certainly the backdrop for that song, really beautiful. Moving on. Number 9. Name the artist who performed the song Rockefeller Street. This was the Estonian song that was also tipped to do quite well, but then finished second to last. The singer was Geterjani. That's who performed it, Geterjani. And fun fact, I believe that she is the Eurovision artist closest to me in age. I was born on 6th of February 93, and I believe she's 3 days older than me. She did that magic trick on stage. She's actually pregnant, I believe, in real life at the moment. I think she's expecting a child. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she is, from what I've seen. Very underrated. Number 10, name the song performed by a friend in London. No longer together, but Tim Shu, I believe his name is. Yes, it is all over TikTok, isn't it? Oh, what a shame that I know something like that. I don't use TikTok, but I am aware that the song is popular on that platform. Yes, who? A Friend in London, sorry. Oh dear. A Friend in London. What was the name of their song? It was New Tomorrow. It was the Danish entry. Tim Shu, the lead singer, I think I just said his name. He is now doing solo material. He's written songs for other artists that have been in Eurovision national selections. He had that big inflatable ball on stage that he kicked into the Dusseldorf crowd. And that song really struggled in the public half of the votes, which is really surprising, actually. New Tomorrow, that's what you were looking for. Moving on, 2012, number 11. What was the title of the host nation's entry in 2012? Well, it was Azerbaijan. It was Sabina Babayeva. It was a ballad. The song was called When the Music Dies. When the Music Dies. Never been a big fan. I'll be honest. Good singer, but never been a big fan of the song. Number 12, which nation finished last overall in 2012? It was Slovakia. Their last Eurovision entry to date, it was Don't Close Your Eyes by Max Jason May, and it was last in semi-2. Slovakia was what you were looking for. Number 13, which nation achieved its best result to date in 2012, finishing in the top 5? It was Albania. Now, I've said it already, I'll say it again. As much as I've listened to this song over the years, I just can't get into it. I know people love it, but my word, I just can't get into it. Sus, that was the name of it, by Rona Nishliu, and it's Albania's best result to date. Can you believe it? Number 14, name the artist who performed the song Zalela. Zalela, every day, everybody, and so on. It was Mandinga. Mandinga, beautiful lead singer, it has to be said. Orange dress. In the first semi-final, her in-ear wasn't working. You can actually see the moment in the performance where she realized that she couldn't really hear the backing track. Yes, it was Mandinga for Romania. Very fun song, always going to do fairly well. I think it's the strained face and neck when she was singing. She looked uncomfortable. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's just a song that is really just belting it out, isn't it? You know? And finally, for 2012, number 15, name the song performed by Kurt Kalea. This is the Night. It was the Maltese song. Surprised many by getting through to the final, but I think it deserved a place there. This is the night. This is the night. Da 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 da. This is my life. This is so on and so forth. You know how it goes. Moving on then, 2013. What was the title of the host nation's entry in 2013? Sweden were hosts. Robin Wernberg was the musician. He came through the second chance round in Melfest, the first artist to do so and then win Melfest. The song was called You. Y-O-U, You. And I mean, he sang very well, but he finished in mid-table. And that's the last time Sweden finished outside the top 10. 2013. Unbelievable. Indeed. Which nation finished last overall in 2013? This was in semi-final one. It was Slovenia. And this was Straight Into Love by Hannah Mancini, who I believe was born in America. The live vocals, nah, they weren't that good. My Melfest winner in 2013 didn't even make the Melfest final. I think it was 2013. It was Hello Goodbye, Erik Segerstedt and Tone Damley, just for the record. Number 18, which position in the running order did Denmark perform? Well, question 18, the answer is 18th. Emily de Forest performed 18th in the 2013 Grand Final. Great position to be in, and she won fairly convincingly in the end, led the voting most of the way. Yohio, Heartbreak Hotel, gotta be honest, I preferred To the End, his other Melfest entry. I wonder what he's doing now. I'm surprised he hasn't come back to Melfest, actually. Really quite surprised he hasn't. Anyway, name the artist who performed the song Kedvesem. That was by Alex. B-Y-E, Alex, for Hungary. Finished in the top 10, which not many people were... my word, I'm stumbling over my words now. Not many people were expecting that at the time, but Hungary, top 10. Big in Japan. Well, yeah. Yeah, I imagine he probably is, given his appearance and the aesthetic and all of that business. Oh, well, that's not a surprise. Graham Norton doing that. Number 20, name the song performed by Aliona Lanskaya. This was for Belarus, and it was Soleo. Soleo, Soleo, da 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 ba da ba ba da da. I suppose a fairly cheap sort of tune, but catchy. Moving on to 2014, what was the title of the host nation's entry in 2014? It was Denmark, it was Basim, it was Cliché Love Song. That was the name of the song you should have had. Cliché Love Song, the Danish entry in 2014. Scooba-dooba-dab-dab-dibby-die. The guy with the afro. That's all I remember most about that song. Number 22. Which nation finished last overall in 2014? It was Moldova. Semi-final one, Wild Soul by Christina Scarlett. And that's a long forgotten Eurovision entry, ladies and gentlemen. Unsurprisingly so. Which two nations, and you need both, which two nations made appearances in a Eurovision final for the first time in 2014? You needed Montenegro and you needed San Marino. Yes, you did. Both of those entries didn't do terribly well. Montenegro, it was Sergei Chetkovic. You know what? I thought it was Georgia, and I'm going to check because I wouldn't be surprised if I've got it wrong. Mind you, I only did this earlier, so surely I haven't made a boo-boo there. Montenegro and San Marino, definitely the answer to number 23. Oh, here we go. Have I got the question wrong? No, it was Moldova. It was Moldova. 13 points in the first semi. Georgia had 15 points in the second semi. So it was Moldova. Montenegro, the ice skating. Yes, Sergei Chetkovich. Moi sviet. And also San Marino. Maybe. Yeah. Name the artist who performed Cheesecake. That was Teo. TEO for Belarus, second in the running order in the grand final. Actually did a lot better than people expected. My Sweet Cheesecake and all of that malarkey. And number 25, name the song performed by... it surprises you that Georgia weren't last overall. Yeah, that song, the Shin and Mariko, wasn't it? 3 Minutes to Earth or whatever. Not a big fan. Name the song performed by Soft Engine. This was the Finnish entry, one of their better results over the past 10, 15 years. It was called Something Better. All those flashing lights, you might recall. Something Better. Indeed. I don't think they're a band anymore, but I think the lead singer's doing solo material. Moving on. 2015. What was the title? Their postcard. Yes. Where they carved the ice. Yes, you've got good Eurovision knowledge, haven't you? What was the title of the host nation's entry in 2015? Well, it was Austria, of course, and it was the Makes, and the song was called I Am Yours. The Piano on Fire, of course. I Am Yours. Finished last, joint last with a big fat 0, which was quite harsh. But then again, not a surprise, perhaps. The 2015 grand final is now on YouTube. Eurovision actually uploaded it to their official channel the other day. About time too. Which nation finished last overall in 2015? It was Switzerland. Melanie René, Time to Shine. In semi-final 2, just a couple of points for that. The issue here, Switzerland sent the wrong song. I've said it since the 2015 edition. Time Bell, who of course would be representing Switzerland in Kiev 2 years later, they had a song called Singing About Love in the Swiss national final in 2015. That song absolutely should have represented Switzerland that year, but no, Switzerland blew their chances. I have no sympathy. Number 28, Australia debuted in 2015. Which two nations gave them 12 points? And if you've just got one of these two nations, that's enough to get the point here. Sweden and Austria. Those are the answers you should have had. Sweden and Austria gave Australia 12 points. Time Bell's 2017 song. I agree, it was a good song. I wasn't such a fan of the staging. Number 29. Name the artist who performed the song A Monster Like Me. Honey, I'm telling the truth. I did something terrible in my early youth, and so on. I'm not a good singer. Dear me. Anyway, it was Merland and Deborah Scarlett. You need both of them to get the point. Merland and Deborah Scarlett. That's it is her real name, is it not? Anyway, she now releases music under the name Red Moon. And Merland is incapable of writing a bad song. He will be back for Norway at some point. I feel somewhat confident about that. Whether that's as a singer, front and center, or as the songwriter. Great song, A Monster Like Me. Great song. And number 30, name the song performed by Elnur Husseinov. He did write Ulrika's song. This is what I mean. Incapable of writing a bad song. Name the song performed by Elnur Husseinov. This was Azerbaijan. It was Hour of the Wolf. That was the name of the Azerbaijani entry by Elnur Husseinov in 2015. Moving on. 2016, what a great year. What was the title of the host nation's entry that year? It was Sweden again. It was Franz, and the song was called If I Were Sorry. If I were sorry, I'd give you all the glory. And the thing is, he sort of sang like that as well. If I was sorry. Young guy, very low key, very casual, and if anything, a little bit overrated. Number 32, which nation finished last overall in 2016? Very surprisingly at the time, it was Estonia. This was Play by Yuri Putzman. Semi-final one, he had that whole trick with the playing card, and he was wearing a suit, and some people said that it was a bit too creepy, which I sort of agree with, but at the same time, it's a really decent song. Stig Rasta co-wrote it. If I Was Sorry gets too much criticism, yes, maybe. I mean, I like it more than I did, so it is what it is. Moving on to number 33. Which nation was top 6 with the juries and bottom 6 with the public? And which nation was bottom 6 with the jury and top 6 with the public in the final? Did we get both? That's the question. Well, I can tell you that the country that was bottom 6 with the jury and top 6 with the public in the 2016 grand final was, of course, Poland. Colour of Your Life, Michal Szpak. And I still, to this day, cannot quite believe Poland finished above Australia in the public vote, but we must move on. And the country that finished top 6 with the juries and bottom 6 with the public in the 2016 grand final was Malta. This was Ira Losko with Walk on Water. And that was a little bit overrated, that's for sure, by the juries. But there we are. It was Malta. Israel as well did quite poorly with the public and much better with the juries. But that's not the answer I'm looking for. Name the artist who performed No Degree of Separation. Nessun grado di separazione, I think it's called. Francesca Michelin is the Italian musician. Now, I think, you see, I had to check this. I think Israel, I will check it now, actually, because why not? Israel definitely were near the bottom in the public vote, but I don't think they were in the bottom 6. I will check. If I'm wrong, you can have the point. If you've written Israel, you can have the point. Oh, come on. Where are we? Grand final. Public vote. What? Israel. Ah, you can have Israel as well. Ah, yes, my mistake. What a surprise. I've done it again. I'm on top form. Israel were in the bottom 6 with the... oh, hang on. No, you can't have Israel. No, siree. Israel were in the bottom 6 with the public, but they weren't in the top 6 with the jury. So Israel is, I'm afraid, incorrect. Where was I? Francesca Michelin, the Italian entry, No Degree of Separation. What a brilliant song. Really, really beautiful. And she's released some good music since, definitely. And name the song performed by Laura Tesoro. This was Belgium. Opened the grand final, closed semi-final 2 as well. It was What's the Pressure? What's the Pressure? Da, 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 da. I mean, this was good. She looked great. Silvery outfit. Fantastic. Really good energy, really confident, and deserved her top 10 finish. Moving on to 2017, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you're getting some good marks here. What was the title of the host nation's entry in 2017? It was Time. Ukraine hosted, and O Torvald were the name of the band representing Ukraine, and it finished in the bottom places in 2017. Good opener. Belgium, yes. Which nation finished last overall in 2017? It was San Marino, 1 point in semi-final 2. Valentina Monetta and Jimmy Wilson. No ties whatsoever to San Marino. Jimmy Wilson, I don't think. Spirit of the Night. That was the song. San Marino, last overall. Not really a surprise. 38. This is the question that I messed up earlier. But anyway, name the country and the song title that was last in semi-final 1 with the public, but 7th with the juries. And the country and song title in semi-final 2 that was 17th with the jury, but 6th with the public. So in semi-final 1, it was the Czech Republic, and the song was called My Turn. And that was really loved by the juries. It would have been a qualifier if 100% jury vote. and it was last with the public. And then in semi-final 2, it was Estonia, 17th with the jury, so not quite last, and 6th with the public. Verona, the name of the song you should have had. Czech Republic, My Turn, and Estonia, Verona. Lost in Verona. Da, 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 da. Ah, yes. I listened to that Junior Eurovision song just the other day because I'm updating my rankings of all the songs. Name the artist who performed Yodel It. What a classic. I'll be honest, it's one of my favourites. It was Ilinka featuring Alex Florea. That's the artists. Verona should have qualified. I mean, people really expected it to. I just think something was lacking in the live performance. I don't think it would have done well in the final had it got there. That awkward kiss, oh yeah. I mean, he just went for it. And he tried to represent Romania the following year, and Ilinka was a jury member. But anyway, Yodel It was Ilinka featuring Alex Florea. And name the song performed by Anya. This was the Danish entry, and it was Where I Am. And she belted this out. The falling rain, pyrotechnic effect. Didn't do very well, probably because it was sandwiched between Italy and Portugal, the two favourites to win at the time, pretty much. 2018 then. I hope you're all doing all right and getting plenty of these correct. She is Australian. Yes, I believe she is. She was born there, wasn't she? What was the title of the host nation's entry in 2018? Underrated as all hell. She shouted. Yeah, I suppose she did. The title of the host nation's entry 2018, so very underrated if you ask me. O Jardim, The Garden, Claudia Pascual and Isaura. My God, it's the first time I've ever really got behind a Portuguese entry, and it finished last. Outrageous. O Jardim is the song title you should have had. Which nation finished last in 2018 overall, including the semi-finals? It was Iceland. Our Choice by Ari Olafsson. You should have had Iceland, ladies and gentlemen. We all have a choice we can make. Ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da. Pleasant, but forgettable. Number 43. In what language were the two highest ranked non-English songs? Italian is the answer you should have had, because of course Italy finished in the top 5, and Estonia had a song in Italian as well, La Forza. So Italian was the language you should have had. 2019 was First Portugal I Loved. Last Telemoveish, you see, never been able to quite get into that one, but I can understand why people love it. Number 44, name the artist who performed the song Mal. This was Eugent Bush-Pepper for Albania. Again, I don't think too many people expected this to qualify, let alone nearly finish in the top 10 in the grand final, but he sang amazingly well. Those high notes, could shatter glass, but my word, he sang so well. And number 45, Robbed by Serhat. Well, you could say that for every country that didn't qualify from the first semi in 2019. Name the song performed by Ryan O'Shaughnessy. Together. That was the Irish entry. Beautiful stuff. Really nice performance. Actually, I'll be honest with you, I think it's one of the best performances from the 2018 final. Funny second name, O'Shaughnessy. I think it's fairly common in Ireland. Or you're talking about Serhat. His second name. Oh, yeah, it's a winning name in Scrabble, that's for sure. But anyway, Together. That was the name of the song performed by Ryan O'Shaughnessy. Moving on to last year then, and let's be quite honest, we should be aiming for all of these correct. Oh, Bush-Pepper. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sorry, Bush-Pepper. Yeah, somewhat amusing. Quite uncommon, even in Albania, I'd imagine. I don't know. What was the title of the host nation's entry in 2019? Last year, Israel, of course. It was Kobe Marimi. The song was called Home. I'm coming home. Yeah, we all remember it. Very emotional moment for him. Ryan's uncle performed in Eurovision too. He did, 2001. Without your love. Da, da, da. I think that was the name of the song. Didn't do very well. Which nation finished last overall last year? It was Ireland. We're talking a lot about Ireland at the moment, but last year, Sarah McTurnan, 22. I thought the live performance really wasn't that bad, but this was never going to do that well, unfortunately. It was Ireland. That's the country you should have had. Number 48, name at least two of the three musicians, the three highest ranked female musicians in the final. So you only need two of the three. The highest ranked was Tamara Tedesco for North Macedonia. The next highest, Kate Miller-Heidke for Australia. And the third highest female ranked musician last year, Love is Forever, Leonora for Denmark, of course. Scraped into the final and then did really quite well in the final when she got there. So you should have had two of Tamara Tedesco, Kate Miller-Heidke, and Leonora. Who would have thought that Tamara Tedesco of North Macedonia would have been the highest ranking female musician last year? But there we are. Number 49, name the artist who performed Chameleon. Kano does have a female member, but I'm talking about just female soloists on their own. And I think I said that earlier on. Maybe it wasn't terribly clear. I do apologize. Name the artist who performed the song Chameleon. That was Michaela Patch for Malta. And she did a song with Ira Losco not so long ago called Cannonball. I think that's what it's called. Pretty good. Michaela Patch, or just Michaela, for Malta. And number 50, name the song performed by Katerine Duska. This was Greece. The song was called Better Love. Better love, da, da, and so on and so forth. Can't even remember how it goes precisely. I need to listen to it again. But it was Better Love by Katerine Duska, the Greek entry. So the last five, ladies and gentlemen, I would say that if you are a Eurovision fan who pays attention every year and has done for the past decade, you should be at this stage, out of 50, I would say getting at least 35 maybe. I think that's very, very reasonable indeed. So, number 51, what's the title of the host nation's entry in 2020? Well, it's the Dutch song, Django McCroy, and it's called Grow. Brilliant song, really good. I'm telling you right now, I can't believe people were ranking that low in their personal ranking of the songs, because that, I feel sure, would have done well. It would have been a real moment. Number 52, name at least three of the bands who would have competed in this year's first semi-final. Well, you need three of the following: Val for Belarus, The Roop for Lithuania, Little Big for Russia, The Mamas for Sweden, Hooverphonic for Belgium, and Go A for Ukraine. Don't think I'm missing anybody, but you need three of those. Val, The Roop, Little Big, The Mamas, Hooverphonic, and Go A. So that's Belarus, Lithuania, Russia, Sweden, Belgium, and Ukraine. Number 53, which musician is younger? Alicja Semplinska for Poland or Stefania for Greece? There is only a few months in it, but it is Stefania for Greece. Born in the Netherlands, she would have had a lot of support, I'm sure, in Rotterdam. She was born on the 17th of December, 2002. And I think she's the youngest musician we would have had this year. Could be wrong. But anyway, yes, that's the answer. Stefania is younger. Number 54, name the artist. Yeah, quite a few groups this year, actually. More so than usual, actually. And it's about time we had a group win again. And of course, the group that could have won this year could have been The Roop. We will never know. Name the artist who would have performed Yes. Ben and Tan. That's the answer you should have had. The Danish entry, Ben and Tan. And I'm telling you now, I think that would have surprised a few people in Rotterdam, that song. I think that would have done quite well. And number 55, the last one, ladies and gentlemen, name the song that would have been performed by Ben Dolic This was the German entry, or rather is the German entry. Will he be back next year? I don't know. It would be a wise move for the Germans if they did have him again. It's Violent Thing. Oh, don't tell your mama. Da 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 da, and so on. Violent Thing. That's it. The quiz is over. And until next time, but I'm only joking. I'm not going to finish just yet. Feel free to post your scores in the chat. 32. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. It's just a bit of fun. Just a bit of fun. Do let me know. Do you think this week's quiz was easier than last week's? Was it as difficult? If I do another quiz, should I focus on one thing in particular? Or should I just do a variety? 48 is not bad at all. 35 out of 55, really not bad at all. Decent stuff. Decent stuff. Did anybody get over 50? That would be very impressive. 36, not bad. Seems as though most people were in and around the 35 mark. 40, okay. Did you do better on the questions regarding the more recent contests? You know, did you struggle more on the questions relating to 2010, 2011, 2012? Because I was a little bit unsure about including those, if I'm honest, because some of us might not remember too much about those contests, in all honesty. They were quite a while ago. A bit easier. Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's good then. I'm glad to hear it. So yeah, I mean, this quiz is going to stay up online. So if you know anybody who might be interested in it, spread the word. Please do. Less people watching this week, it seems, which is a little bit disheartening, but not to worry, because this is a very small channel anyway. If this was Eurovision Hub, I'm sure the views would be pouring in. And I certainly could go off on a tangent about Eurovision Hub, because there seems to have been a bit of drama, shall we say, over the past week. I know very little about it, so I'm not going to sit and chat about it. So I'm not going to speculate too much about the same. Struggled with the countries that came last. Okay, fair enough. Maybe I'll do something, if I do another quiz, that is, I'll do something like who finished third or fourth, something like that. Yeah. Oh, yes, the tea. Well, I mean, I suppose I could talk about it briefly. I'm very interested. I'll be honest. I'm very interested who in Eurovision Hub has been frustrating some of the members who have now since departed. I mean, I think 4 of them have left or have been fired. I think Noosh left of her own accord. She's great, and Chloe, who's fantastic. I've been subscribed to her own channel for quite some time, and she's great. Yeah, I saw her video. Well, one thing's for sure, it seems as though there's a few vacancies for Eurovision Hub, so hello, I'm available. She left herself as well, David, did she? Oh yeah, I saw her video earlier, but I'll be honest, I was doing other things at the same time, so maybe I need to go back and watch it. Luke, fun fact about Luke, I think it's all right for me to say this. We went to school together. He's older than me, but yeah, top bloke. Anyway, I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Unless there's any more Eurovision tea that needs to be spilt. True, it's true. It'd be nice to do a video with him at some point, but my channel's very small compared to his. Feel free to drop him a message and say, well, you should check out this guy's channel. And feel free to nudge Eurovision Hub as well. Why not? Why not? I look older, you cheeky butt. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's probably the stubble, the hair. I am 27, for those of you that are wondering. Maybe the quality of my videos doesn't help matters as well. But yes, if there's no more tea to be spilt and there's nothing else that no worries at all, mate. No worries at all. If you have any questions you want to ask me very briefly before I go, now's the time to do it. So ask quickly, or you'll have to contact me on my other social media pages. I will be filming videos about. I need to get back to you. I need to get back to you about that. I will do that when I've got a bit more time, probably later this week. I will get back to you. I should be on Eurovision Hub. I mean, I am. But given all this drama, who knows whether I want to be a part of it? I don't know. I don't know. Hashtag RAJC for Eurovision. Don't even start something like that because it would never catch on. Lots of knowledge that the others may not have. Well, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I think some of the people on Eurovision Hub, they are really hardcore fans. I'm not sure if I could totally devote myself to it, to be honest with you. I quite like doing what I do on my own channel. But you never know. You never know. Give them a nudge. Why not? Sound desperate now, which is certainly not what I'm going for. I could make a video talking about my favorite Eurovision related channels because I'm subscribed to many. And I will be making more videos about the 2020 songs moving forwards, what I think would have happened, my ranking of the songs. I'm waiting for the CD to arrive, which will be in just under a month. It is a pretty big month for me anyway, because I'm actually waiting for my Master of Fine Arts degree mark, which should be very soon. Because for those of you that don't know, I have studied creative writing for 6 years in total. 3 years as an undergraduate, 3 years as a postgrad, and I'm just waiting for my mark back for the postgrad manuscript. I have just subbed to Luke, Chloe, and Noosh. Yes. Yes. Yeah, they're all great. They're all great. I think they're fantastic. Luke, he's a lot of fun. Noosh, she seems really cool. And Chloe is Scottish, which is a thumbs up in my book. And she's just really nice and really sweet. Good luck with the mark. Thank you very much. Yes, I mean, it would be nice over time to become a little bit more involved in the Eurovision community, maybe. Maybe collab with other people, maybe become a part of the Eurovision Hub. I certainly think that I would need to be a bit more, what's the word? I think that I would need more subscribers to be part of Eurovision Hub, to be honest. Chloe is a Sweden hater, is she? Ah well. I still like her. She's still nice, and so are the others. They're all great. They're all great. It's a good group of people. Yeah, it's a good group of people. It's a good community, I think. But clearly behind the scenes, there were some dodgy goings on, and I'm sure more dirt will be revealed in the very near future. Anyway, that really is it, because this video is now slightly longer than last week's. But if you have any final questions, anything at all, now's the time to ask it. I'll answer maybe one or two, and if none come through, I will end this video. I'm glad you enjoyed the quiz. I might do another one very soon, and do keep an eye on my channel and other social media pages for details as to when that will be. I'm aware that some people are still working, and what with it being a Tuesday evening, maybe it's not the best time. I might think about doing it on a Sunday next time, potentially. But yes, I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I'm glad that maybe you want to see more. Hopefully you could hear me okay, and the quality's not that bad. And I don't think I've got anything Eurovision related next to me. Don't think so. No. Or else I would have just shown it briefly on camera. Yes, stay safe. Stay as positive as you can be. Stay indoors, although I know that some European countries are relaxing the lockdown, which maybe is a little bit early, I don't know. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay positive. And do I like football? Yes. Don't support a team, but I'm a big football fan. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, feel free to leave questions for me in the comments of this video when it goes up as normal on YouTube. I might do another Q&A. This channel is very small. I'm not expecting a lot of questions, but I'll answer any that come my way. And yes, Eurovision Hub. Deary, deary me. I'll stay subscribed, that's for sure. Good group of people. Anyway, that's it. Big ramble now. Not good. Until next time, really do appreciate it. Spread the word about my channel if you so wish. I don't want to sound desperate, but it really would be greatly appreciated. And if there's any more quizzes, I'll let you know. Until next time, thank you very much for watching from here in Middle England. Bye for now. End stream. Yes.